Okay, so here's what we've learned about whether we've done a good job with this redesign or not. I know that I'm much happier teaching this way, but is it working for my students? Okay, so I love this quote from a student. It was challenging enough that I felt accomplished when I got it right, complete with some excited dances and yes, but not so challenging that I wanted to die. That really is my goal for this course. We did a more formal analysis of whether we were successful or not. We looked into statistical and information literacy, whether the students improved in that. We looked at their attitudes towards statistics, the classroom climate, DWF rate, and course evaluations. So just looking at exam scores. So spring 2012, that was my first semester teaching the traditional course. That was before we did any big changes. And you can see the averages, you know, we're in around 70 or so. After the redesign, I'm giving them tests on the same material, same level of questions. The averages went up in all the sections. And the sections are fairly consistent to traditional, online, and hybrid. So exam scores increased for all 3 exams. All I did was reorganize the material. Otherwise, it's pretty much the same exams. Okay, DWF rates. You can see that we've been in trouble in the past. Remember, anything above 20%, the university's going to yell at you. So we were in trouble. After the redesign, these are all the fall semesters, so we're down to below 15% now, which is good. And I didn't curve. I did not curve the grades. So they're just doing better. They're just doing better. Course evaluation. So before the redesign, I mean, granted, they liked me okay. Before, they weren't as thrilled with the course, but it was all right. After the redesign, even a 7:30 large lecture class, they were happy. They were happy. And their evaluations about the course itself went up. And I'm not just talking about 2 or 3 students evaluating this, these are pretty high percents. Marcy?
So how'd you get 80% of your students to respond?
I bribed them. That goes into their class participation grade. They have to turn in proof that they did the evaluation, and it's worth 5 or 10 class participation points, which is nothing for their grade, but they're not great at math, so they That's also how I bribed them on the Qualtrics survey. I have a pre-Qualtrics and a post, and they got 20 class participation points for doing that. It's probably like a 30-minute survey to fill out, but they want those 20 points. Yes.
Ellen, do you, so when they go and fill out the course eval in the computer lab, they get a printout. Did they get that into you, or how?
Yes, they can email it to me or turn it in on paper. You can get a proof of course evaluation. There's a little link on the CIU website. It tells you how to do that. I got that link posted for my students. Yes.
And did you just start bribing them in the fall?
No, I've always bribed them.
So why did it go up? Or did it go? Let me ask this.
Well, the percents they're fairly similar. I think the students were just more engaged altogether in the fall compared to the spring in all aspects of the course. They were doing better.
They were more willing to do it.
They were more willing to. I mean, but it's not a huge improvement in percent. But I bribed them. I bribed them every semester. When I did 301, I bribed them then too. Okay, so the CIE stuck in the student assessment of learning goals. They stuck these into my course evaluation. They wanted to see what gains did you make in the skill. These are my 4 learning outcomes that I showed you earlier. So do the students feel like they gained? So if it's a 4, it means they think they gained a lot. 5 means they gained a great deal. And for all 4 of those questions about my learning outcomes, I had a mode of either 4 or 5 on all 4 of them for every section. If you look at the average instead, you know, it ranged around 4. So you can see there's a little bit of difference in the section, but not too much. Okay, attitudes towards statistical literacy. We're going to do a lot more work with attitudes in the spring semester. We're collecting more data, but for the questions that we had on the fall survey, I can group some of the questions into understanding statistics and some others into the importance of statistics, whether they think statistics is important or not. We did some factor analysis, and this is how it fell out. For understanding statistics, we did see a significant increase from pre to post over the semester. As to the importance of statistics, unfortunately, there was no change at all, not even a 1-point change in the response that I was hoping they would see how great it was and how important. Didn't get that, but it was also the end of the semester. They were tired. Maybe they would feel differently if we quizzed them, 3 months after the semester ended. But I was glad to see at least their understanding. They feel like they understand it better now. So this was that understanding statistics question. We saw a significant increase pre to post. I thought it interesting that the hybrid made the biggest increase. Hybrid's the bottom line here, the brown one. They started lower than everybody else, but then they finished in the middle. And my theory, I don't have proof on this, but my theory for that is that the people who signed up for the hybrid class, it was really slow to get students in there. Everybody jumped to the traditional and online first because nobody could tell what the hybrid class was when it was time to register. The academic advisors didn't know what it was. The students didn't know what it was. So the people, I mean, think about when my lecture times were. I had a 7:30 and an 8:30 lecture time in the fall. They don't want to take the 7:30. The online filled up immediately. So the people who were left taking the hybrid were the ones who waited too long to register. They were the ones who maybe weren't as on top of their scheduling as they should have been. So they didn't know what they were getting into when they signed up for it. But it did end up serving them well over time. It'll be interesting to see now that everybody has more experience with hybrid classes. There are more of us teaching them. The students know what they are. The academic advisors know what they are. I'm interested to see what my spring results will look like and if we'll still see that. Okay, so other things we learned. One of the questions on the Qualtrics survey was, what grade do you think you're going to get in this class? And it went down pre to post, but that's because they got realistic, as the semester went on. They realized that not everybody was going to get the A that they thought they were going to get at the beginning. They became less interested in learning more about probability and statistics at the end of the semester. They'd had enough. At the beginning, they were excited about it, but no. Exam 2, statistical literacy questions significantly increased pre to post. So those were the probability and the confidence interval kind of questions. On my Qualtrics survey, questions that were related to that did go up, and hybrid again showed the biggest increase, and I think that's due to the late registration. The students might not have started out in the strongest position, but they got much better as time went on. And my traditional students are the youngest, my online students are the oldest, and hybrid somewhere in the middle. Online students are significantly different in terms of age compared to traditional and hybrid, which I was not expecting. Okay, and we found out this fall that we've been approved for both information literacy and science core curriculum areas, which is really exciting, and we're going to start getting more nurses into our class as a result, and I think this is a fantastic class for nurses to take. So some additional data that we're hoping to collect in the spring semester. STATS, which is a statistical attitude survey that's been fully validated by another researcher. We included that in our Qualtrics survey this time pre and post, so we're going to get a much better idea of attitudes towards statistics. And we validated our statistical literacy survey this semester. It took us a while. So we'll be able to get more results from that from the spring. Learning climate questions were tossed into Qualtrics as well. We didn't have those for the fall semester. So our conclusions, we're really encouraged by the redesign. At least we didn't make anything worse, and it's not like the hybrid fell way below the other two sections. We made things better. And hopefully we'll see an even bigger change to the spring now that I know what I'm doing with the hybrid a little bit more, and I'm not making, at least not the same mistakes that I made in the fall. I can make new ones.